2K18 was released in October 2017 to rather negative reviews from critics. Now, this wasn't towards the console versions of the game, but it was actually aimed towards the Nintendo Switch port, which was unfortunately a complete failure. We actually did a whole video on that disaster. Be sure to check it out if you can. But in relation to the PS4 and Xbox One, they didn't receive the same criticisms from players and critics, but it did unfortunately have a few issues. Most of the criticism came down to the poorly written and dull My Career mode. Nevertheless, there were some true highlights in the game which actually received positive feedback from players. There were also a few hidden tricks and secrets that you may not have known. But which ones were they? Well, join us now as WrestleGamia looks at 10 secrets, hidden Easter eggs of 2K18. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when we upload a video. Number 10, you could have squash matches. A new feature to 2K18 was the ability to have squash matches just like fans occasionally see on television. The most simple way to execute this is to go to the game's options menu screen and then select game balancing. Players will then need to press R1 or RB to get balancing 2. Following that, scrolling to the bottom of the screen, players will see a squash match rate, and this will need to be increased to the maximum setting. Once the settings are changed, all players need to do is select a highly rated wrestler in the game, for instance John Cena or Roman Reigns, and play against a low rated superstar. In the match itself, players will have to hit their opponent with a charging move, and then the superstar's finishes will activate, and usually after one finisher being hit, the match will come to a close in less than 1 minute.
Oh, Roman Reigns may have it. What a completely unbelievable move by Roman Reigns.
Oh man, Bo Dallas is in trouble now.
So let's talk a moment about Bo Dallas. For those that haven't seen much of him, Roman Reigns smashes that one.
Roman Reigns, that can't be enough, can it?
2, 3. And you can put this singles match in the books.
Number 9, you could play as Colonel Sanders. As part of KFC's sponsorship deal with WWE, both parties decided it was appropriate to feature KFC's mascot, Colonel Sanders, as a playable character in the game. Sanders was added in the community creation section of the game, and although he obviously wasn't a WWE superstar, WWE did put a lot of effort into making this appear like a big deal. So much so that the Sanders character addition into the game was announced during the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view in 2018, and the announcement even involved WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle. Number 8. Triple H's. WWE legend Triple H had a total of 3 different versions of himself in the game. One version was from 1998 and featured Triple H in his very early DX gear, as well as the classic DX entrance music. Another version of Triple H was supposed to be from 2001, but it looked more like a version of Triple H from 2010 or 11. And the final version of the King of Kings would be a modern day version, which featured his bald hair and latest in-ring attire. Now, when you competed in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, players can actually pick 2 Triple H's to team up, and if a player wins the tournament, a bizarre cutscene occurs which involves modern-day Triple H in a suit congratulating 2 different versions of himself. It's downright bizarre.
Here are your winners, Triple H and Triple H.
Wow, huge pinfall win here tonight.
Hey, this isn't just about going out there and making sure everybody's entertained. You gotta win your matches, and that's exactly what happened here. A will to win was on display.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw these teams going back to it at some point in the very near future.
Number 7. Golden Truth. The Golden Truth consisted of R-Truth and Goldust, and they were a tag team duo that were popular in WWE between 2016 to 17. In 2K18, when pairing the duo together as a custom team, the game manages to preset Golden Truth's actual entrance from television for the custom team. It's a great little detail which gave players a nice surprise when pairing the two together. Now, the reason that the duo weren't already an official tag team in the game is that they broke up during the game's development. However, it was clear that the game had already mastered an entrance for the tag team, so they decided to keep it in when players decided to pair the entertaining duo together. Number 6. Attention to detail. Now, there was a certain aspect of the game which received universal acclaim by players and critics. This aspect was a little attention to detail in the game, and it related to the microphones that the superstars would hold when conducting promos. For instance, The Miz would have his classic mic with the upside down WWE logo on it, Enzo and Cass would also have their custom mics, and 2K would even feature The Undertaker cutting a promo without the WWE logo on his mic, as he would always famously take this off when conducting a promo. This was so that he could actually grip the microphone whilst wearing gloves. Number 5. The straps are down. One of the best features in 2K18 was the ability for certain superstars to be able to pull down their straps in a match. Superstars such as Kurt Angle, Jason Jordan, Big E, and even The Undertaker were all able to do this when players pressed R1 or RB followed by the down button. As we mentioned in another video, this is also present in older games, but it could only be done with Kurt Angle. Number 4, you could freely explore the backstage area. Now, although my career mode was popular with players, there was always something holding it back. That was the lack of exploring players could do in the backstage area. Although players could walk around freely backstage, it was hard to actually explore hidden details. However, if players loaded up a saved clip from a backstage brawl, players had the ability to explore that area in first-person mode. Players could pass through walls, take a look in offices, take a look at the makeup tables, and even see an aerial shot of the entire backstage area. Number 3, there's a special Lana and Rusev entrance where Lana interacts with the crowd. A brand new feature added to 2K18 was the ability to have Lana introduce Rusev just like she did during Rusev's Hero of the Russian Federation story arc.
And put your hand on your heart and welcome the one and only true American hero. He is my husband, which means he is the only man that can have me. Welcome the Bulgarian brute, Rusev!
All that was required to show this cutscene was simply selecting Rusev for a match and then selecting Lana as his manager. This addition to Rusev's entrance received a lot of praise from players who appreciated 2K's efforts in making the entrance feel as authentic as possible. Number 2, you can win the tag titles alone. Believe it or not, it's actually possible in 2K18 to become tag team champions as a solo competitor. To do this, players must firstly team up with a created superstar. Then once that superstar and the created superstar win the tag titles, simply deleting the created superstar will result in a single established superstar being the solo tag team champion. Many fans believe this was a glitch in the game, but nevertheless it's a fun glitch which adds a new exciting element to the gameplay, just like when Braun Strowman won the tag titles and then Nicholas had to give it up. And number 1, roster additions and removals. A 2K18 featured one of the biggest rosters in WWE video game history. In that roster, there was a total of 47 new superstars who weren't featured in the prior year's installment. Some of these names were huge additions to the game, and some were making their WWE video game debut. WWE legend Kurt Angle would make his first video game appearance in over a decade, as his last appearance was all the way back in SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. Elsewhere, names such as Aleister Black, Bobby Roode, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, and Ember Moon all made their video game debuts. In relation to superstar removals, we know that Andrade was removed during the game's development. This is a decision that WWE and 2K would come to regret, as there was a lot of fan backlash in relation to this. The backlash would be taken one step further when 1 month after the game was released, Andrade would win the NXT title, making him the top guy on the black and gold brand, and not even in the game. But there you have it, folks. 10 secrets, hidden facts, and Easter eggs that you need to know of 2K18. Are there any more that we should add? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling video game content.